Defense making their closing arguments here today with the prosecution to follow tomorrow. High-powered Chicago attorney Donna Rotuno trying to hammer home her final points here to the 7-man and 5-woman jury. What is she trying to hammer home? Well, number one, that it's not a popularity contest. She realizes her client, Harvey Weinstein, isn't the most popular guy in the world right now. The accusations against him, over 80 women, spawned the Me Too movement, spawned a revitalization in the women's rights movement. Weinstein is not going to be invited to any of their Christmas parties, but she's saying that morality cannot be criminalized. And even though may have acted the way he did, even though he may have abused his position, it's not enough to warrant sending him to prison for the rest of his life, which he's facing if he's convicted of the most serious charges against him. She said that the jury, and she's addressing the jury directly, needed to use good old-fashioned New York City common sense. And when they felt their emotions taking over during this trial and during deliberations, they need to return to common sense. She reiterated the point she made over the last few weeks when cross-examining the accusers, saying that it doesn't make sense for them to make the accusations they did about Weinstein's sexual misconduct and to maintain the relationships they maintained with the now disgraced movie mogul. Everything from trying to get him to invite them to high-level parties within the film industry, to maintaining very intimate relationships with them, both physically and through messaging. She said it just doesn't make sense that he could rape them, sexually assault them, and for them to come back time after time and keep him in their lives. It's the biggest obstacle right now for the prosecution to get around those circumstances.
Mike, no doubt a big moment happened when Weinstein's lawyers said that his accusers weren't effectively taking responsibility for their own actions. How do you think the jury is going to react to that, essentially putting blame on the victims?
Yeah, Rotuno said at the start of this trial that she was going to avoid victim shaming, but it's a very, very fine line to walk when she's trying to get Weinstein off without jail time here. She said that, in fact, the Me Too movement, she went after the movement directly, has taken away agency and responsibility from women, saying that they really don't own responsibility now for the parties they go to, for the men they flirt with, for the messages, both physically and virtually, that they send to men. She said it's not fair to their client, that women need to take responsibility, and she's putting it on the accusers here for maintaining those longer-term relationships for Weinstein, even after the accusations against him. She said the responsibility is not on her client, but on them. They're the ones that need to take responsibility. 7 men are on that jury and 5 women. Obviously, we don't know what's going on in their minds right now, but that is a very, very risky strategy to take right now, to put it back on those women, especially when 5 women are sitting on that jury.
And Mike, Weinstein also faces more charges of sexual assault in Los Angeles. What is the update on that trial?
Well, that's a ways away, both literally and figuratively, out on the West Coast there. They've got to get through this trial first, and it's not just what happens over the next couple days or through jury deliberations. Remember, if there's a conviction, there can still be appeals. Even if the jury can't reach a decision, it results in a mistrial, and the prosecution can elect to retry the case. There's nothing that's going to happen out in Los Angeles. They're not going to extradite him. They're not going to start proceedings out there until at least a lot of this trial and the aftermath of this trial is completed. The defense can't go back and forth trying to try 2 cases at the same time on opposite coasts. This one is the one that takes priority for the time being.